All right, this is another impromptu stream, which was brought to you by the fact that I am presently able to speak at any volume I want, say anything I want, and you get my point. Like, there's no one around, so this is one of those golden opportunities to provide some, I would hope, above above average quality entertainment. Um, First thing on the chopping block is the Cummings death, which literally came out of completely nowhere. And with me, whenever a famous person dies, I generally don't talk about it because I don't like a death in the limelight. We've been over that trope before, where people ignore you every single day of your life, or for the most part, and then you die, and oh my God, we care so much about this congressperson. Um, Case in point, no one was talking about the older Bush for the entire year that he was basically of his last 2 years of life, other than his wife dying. And Elliot, it's in the title. So you see where it says death, the name right before that, type it in Google and then you'll find it. But yeah, with Bush, the only times people talked about him in those last 2 years of his life were sexual assault allegations that I didn't believe. Oh, he touched me. That's why I had to wait 30 years. And then, his wife's funeral. And then there was like a thing where people were speculating, well, he survived this year. His health and the fact that she's no longer around do him in. And apparently they were vindicated by, his death. What was it, like 6 months later? So, those are kind of things where it just, people, they get in this thing of not really paying attention to someone ever, and then now being concerned. But with Cummings, it's a slight inversion due to the fact that he was a sitting member of Congress, and we did have a controversy with him and Trump about 2-3 months ago, with the Baltimore being the rat infested place as Trump said it was. So it's not the same thing. I'm just kind of tired of when these people die. You see them on TV all day that one day, and then next day it's like it never even happened. But that's how the goofy media works. They want you to have the sympathy for that for those particular hours, and then just get over it, which is not hard to do, but it's still kind of annoying. Hey, that's that cursing person. So we have to ignore her. We have to pretend we don't see her message. I thought you worked until 6. Okay, Ruben says R.I.P. Kurds. Let's just ignore that they're being protected by Syria now. Oh, Ruben, I was gonna tell you. Um, I got the roll call for the House vote. So they were making this big deal out of, oh my God, 300 members of the House voted to rebuke Trump over getting out of Syria, and only 60 people, 60 deviants, decided to stand with him. And I was looking at that and I said, wait a second. So Roe voted for the resolution, even though he's supposed to be an anti-war person, but whatever. Massey voted against it, which makes sense because he's always, that's consistent with his ideology. And it's like, I'm over here. I don't even like King, the one from Iowa, but I'm forced to stand with him because literally all the Democrats are sitting over there trying to tell me that they want to eventually, at some point, someday, some decade, get out of Syria. But then they're voting to condemn a chance of actually getting out. Goofy. All right, Astro just confirmed that she wept when she found out Cummings died. She was very devastated. So now we all know what her position was. Let me pull this up. It's always, for some reason, the house versions of the not the house version, the mobile version of the websites that are used to track Congress votes are really garbage. So if I go on my computer right now, I can find it very quickly. But if I go on the mobile version, I have to like click this tab and then step over here, and it's actually caused me in a lot of cases to just grab the URL and then stick it on the phone afterward. All the Democrats vote to stay in Syria except for maybe Tulsi, AOC. I'm pretty sure they voted for to stay over there too. I have to go look. God, there are so many members of the House that are just like, you never hear these people, and then they vote on something, and now people care about them. Like, I still have the list of the 5 Democrats that, remember back in December, voted to stay in Yemen, and I was saying I was gonna get like donate to all the people who primary them, but then the Justice Democrats aren't even like trying to mess with them. So it's just a thing of, do you vote for them or do you vote for the Republican or do you just stay out of the race altogether? Which is the latter is most likely what I'll do if there's no progressive alternative. Where's this damn website? House.gov. Find your representative. I don't. I already know who my person is, and they're garbage. I think they might have. Oh no, that would require them to do something spectacular. Oh, it's literally after. That's crazy. Yeah, this is obnoxious. This website is not that well put together. Let's see. I know they voted yes. I think that only Tulsi voted no, but I don't know. I think what had happened is she was because you know how it's been with the ones running for president. They're not really there for the votes anymore. So if she was there, she probably would have voted against it. But because she wasn't, it's just a speculatory thing. Where's this damn thing? Legislative activity, uh, business meeting. Like anyone cares about that? Leadership committees. Garbage website. Yeah, I'm gonna go on the computer. This is terrible. I can sit here all day trying to figure out why a crappy website is crappy. We already solved that mystery. Paulette Jordan is just repeating Democrat talking points on Twitter and Instagram now. I'm not bothered that she lost her election last year for governor. I mean, she wasn't going to do anything if she won anyway. Like, really think about how many governors do you know who actually did something that was worth a damn ever in the whole history of governors across every single state? You could probably name like 5 or 6 that have actually impressed you with their legislative abilities. Oh no, I don't want to go on that garbage website. You saw a little Discord logo pop up. It's like, no, we're staying off there today. Oh man. House votes. Where's this thing? I was on here yesterday. It disappeared. I got the Senate, House of Representative votes. Let's go on Google and use our good buddy. All right, here it is. It's 560. Okay, 354 votes for it, 60 votes against it. Okay, Gohmert voted against it, who's also terrible. I think these are all Republicans. Yeah, I don't. Wait, Ocasio-Cortez. Did she vote for it? Yeah, she voted for it. So all the progressive and anti-war Democrats voted to condemn getting out of this war. The irony. But I'm supposed to believe these are the people who are going to change the tide and fight against the military-industrial complex, while they vote the same way as the people that are fighting for it. Ruben says, I can think of some governors that stand out, but that's from all the horrible things that they were involved with. No, there are governors who are, significant in terms of being infamous, but how many have actually done something that was progressive and made a positive change within their respective state? I'll wait. I mean, I can actually name a bunch of, if we're going off that category alone, I could probably name 60 or 70 different senators throughout all of history that people should know about or at least be more knowledgeable of than the average person, or the average senator. But they still, that's not usually because, oh my God, this person positively affected the U.S. so much. No, they just happened to do something that was very consequential, good or bad, that warrants their inclusion on this list. Or who else are we looking for? Omar? Was she another name that Ruben brought up? Another one of those anti-war people that supposedly. Oh, she didn't vote either way. So, and Gabbard didn't vote either way, and Cummings didn't vote either way for obvious reasons. So, you are right. I got nothing. Whatever happened to we're making it worse? Somebody actually said that we're making it worse. No wonder people were so confused. They didn't even complete their sentence. Every single person that voted against this, from what I can see, is a Republican. Like, I know who Gates is. I know who. Well, I mean, to be fair, but all of these names are usually. Oh, look, Pence's brother voted against this. Let's have a moment of silence, Mark writes. I mean, we already had that at the start of the stream. Now it's time to go back to the remainder of talking trash and saying all kind of nasty stuff again. Esther says, I mean, like the U.S. meddling in other countries' affairs makes it worse. Well, yeah. I mean, look what they did in Venezuela. Oh, you won't change your leader to the person we picked out for you. We're going to put these sanctions on that screw up your people, and then we're going to sit here and wonder why you don't think we have your best interest at heart when we literally have been sitting here giving you all this juicy rhetoric about, oh, we're helping you out and we're getting rid of the evil Maduro, and then we're still going to negatively impact you anyway. Okay, what did Amash vote? I like what he's been saying on Twitter. He voted present. So that's actually when the Iran nuclear deal came up about 4 years ago in the House. Massey, or yeah, the one from Kentucky that I brought up before, the other anti-war Republican, he voted present on that because he said that he wasn't granted by the Constitution the right to vote yay or nay on it, or something to that effect. Of course, America is good in meddling in other countries' affairs. Well, remember, like the Trump era is supposed to be the redemption of all these crappy garbage institutions like the CIA, right? They go and screw up Iran and overthrow their leader in this completely undemocratic way, and then we're supposed to like think that the people working in there are mediating Trump or helping out the regular person or some kind of trash. But same thing with the FBI. Everybody loves Comey. When just 10 years ago they were this horrible group, which is true, that messed with King with Hoover. And if it wasn't something like that, they were just sitting around basically doing nothing. So this has been their redemption arc. All the evil villains of the modern era are going to look good by comparison to Trump because people are so they can't. It's kind of like, what's a good example? So when you have people that go on, I don't know, CNN, MSNBC, and they crap talk Trump because the audience there doesn't like Trump, even if the person has some horrible voting record, they oppose all of the good stuff that people like, they'll still on their video get a bunch of thumbs up and people say, oh my God, this person is so smart because they're saying something they like in that particular moment. It's just like with Massey, where he got in trouble this year because he had that dumb clip of saying that Kerry's political science degree was a pseudoscience degree, and people were saying he's so dumb. How did this man ever get elected? Blah, blah, blah. Like, that was a dumb remark by him, but it doesn't erase from all the. I mean, I take him over probably any sitting Republican in either chamber at this point. Now that we don't have Walter Jones anymore. CIA, FBI, DHS, NSA, ATF, IRS, which other U.S. Agencies are there? Oh, they're all going to be redeemed. If they do anything that appears to be anti-Trump, they'll get their day in the sun. Because people can't objectively rebuke, or they can't go against two things at once. So that's how lovely they are. Also, I'll probably be putting out another relationship video tomorrow. I was going to pull it out today, but I said, you know what? These people aren't around. I'm gonna do a impromptu stream like I did that other Thursday. I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. There was actually a new update where this character that I had interacted with in the past had decided to not put out, but when you talk to someone, you tell them some intimate stuff, they throw it back in your face. This person was privy to some circumstances that I haven't even revealed on YouTube at all, or just in any kind of capacity outside of interacting with them and some select other people. And the problem with their little theory is that I also am at liberty to disclose things they told me in private as well, but I'm not going to do that. So even though she's a complete scumbag piece of garbage, I'm not going to be one with her. We're going to keep it secret and behind the rug. Let's see. CK says, one thing I've noticed is that people comment about things that they are not educated about, just small readings on a specific political topic. CK, if you ever feel like getting drunk, you should go to any political video that's not of Trump or some other really, really popular politician. And I guarantee you go in the comment section, they're not even talking about the thing the person was saying while they were being interviewed. Interview could be 6 minutes long and they would still go, this person they're working for is so bad. So every time you see one of those comments, you just take a little sip and you'll you'll be intoxicated by the end of the rolling of the different tabs and whatnot. It's really pathetic because, I always thought the point of comments is to react to what you just saw. And if I can watch an interview of some congressperson talk about Syria and I'm just sitting there talking about Trump the entire time, then, it's like I could have written it anywhere else because it's not specific to what was being said in that particular video or clip or whatever. Ruben says they want to completely take over. Oh, the never Trump Republicans are more dangerous than what most people realize. They want to completely take over the Democrat Party. Excuse me, it's the Democratic Party. They're basically just more polite Trumps. Well, that's why I said Pence was that like every single policy that Trump has, he supports. And the only difference between the two is one tweets and one doesn't. So if you want to see an end of Twitter's free promotion, I guess you'll support Trump being replaced by Pence. Like it's literally identical. Every single policy is the exact same. And I guess that's true with all vice presidents to some extent because they're supposed to be like little copy replacements of whoever the person at the top is. But it's really sad that this is what we've been reduced to, where people know that they don't even know anything about the person that could replace the one they won't replace, but they'll want to replace them anyway because that shows they don't. This isn't actually about ideology or bettering the U.S. It's just, oh, this person says mean things, so let's yank him out for someone that's a kinder, gentler, super villain. Oh, I'm trying to see where that stupid House bill was, where they were talking about putting some new sanctions on Syria or Turkey rather for messing with the Kurds. I still don't believe we're actually getting out of there because this same scenario I told you happened back in December. He announced we're getting out of Syria. I made that stupid stream. I was so happy and yay, one of the 7 wars is finally over. Now we only have 6. And then 2 months later, we've announced we're putting 1,000 more troops over there. And then one of his supporters came and wrote me some stupid paragraphs, and I yanked them, and everything went back to normal. The intervention continued for another 8 months uninterrupted, and then this broke out. Both Turkey and the Kurds are working with Israel. Well, I have no doubt about it. That's why I said it's like a global circle jerk where some random group of people in a country that most Americans couldn't even name before a couple of years ago, Yemen, like overthrows this government, and that government just happens to be friends with Saudi Arabia, and then we just happen to be friends with Saudi Arabia, so we both go over there, and it's like we're fighting all these people and killing them just because of supposedly some blind devotion to wanting to stand by our allies and all this other trash. It's really goofy. That's why I said the U.S. is run by fools. Oh, Ruben, did you see the wasn't it upload from Tuesday? The one where it's me talking about how Pelosi and Cheney sound alike, and the clip at the beginning with Jimmy. I'm very curious. I thought you would like it and you would laugh and giggle and grin to all the other fun stuff. Oh, man, he didn't even respond. I got so excited. I was sitting here just waiting for his comment. He didn't even respond to what I was saying. Amash is doing a better job of being anti-war than the Democrats are. He's reminding everyone that Trump is not ending any wars. Also, I saw the Pelosi video. All right, good. But did you like that clip at the beginning? Yeah, Amash is. That's why I said that the impeachment stuff is stupid. Just when anybody says it, because, like I said, to what end? What are you trying to accomplish here? But when he was talking about those different conflicts And the fact that like a lot of these anti-war Republicans like Massey or Paul or whatever, they're so cowardly that what they do is instead of just saying, I disagree with the president, I think we shouldn't be in this particular war, they try to like placate to a position he doesn't have. They go, oh no, the president supports me wanting to end these conflicts. No, he doesn't. He just sent 1,000 more troops over to whichever respective country you're referring to. Just like Obama. It's the yo-yo thing where take 1,000 out, put 999 back in, pull out 800, put 700 in. Like, it's just, it never ends because they're not designed to end. But yeah, that clip of Jimmy is actually from a segment that he did almost 3 years ago on TYT, and it was funny because I saw it when it initially came out, and then I forgot the name of the video, and then someone uploaded the clip of him speaking in it on a separate channel. They put this music on it that was really loud, so you kind of you can almost at the end barely hear what he's saying. So I had to go look for the I had to like use the background's image as a context clue for what that was. I really hate that when people take a clip and they don't tell you where it's from, because they're basically sealing off whatever the context was. It's really obnoxious. I get so aggravated. I want to just punch my computer right there because I'm so violent. I remember what Sky said. I'm ghetto and I can't form complete sentences. He exposed me. What's this? New poll in Iowa. Biden and Warren tied. So, hey, that's cool. I'm not voting for either one of them, so it's all good. They can tie for the next 3 months. It's not going to matter. I still can't believe Buddha Trash has been going up at 16%. It's like with him and Harris, they got a little group of people where they keep switching between the two of them, which is funny because I remember reading somewhere that supposedly Warren takes Harris supporters along with Biden ones, and then that's why the other two have been having such a kind of like slippery slope / staying in the same place. It's really comedic. No, they go and sit here and they just all day long. Cummings, Cummings, Cummings. And I guess I should be used to it at this point because they do it every did the same thing with McCain, did the same thing with Bush. It's just like we get it. Relax. Mayor, cigarette butt, the young Biden. Oh, wait, you mean Hunter? Let me see, what is this? Oh, that's like a little flag. That emoji is so small. That's who you're talking about, right, Hunter? The wonderful young Biden that found a way to make $50,000 a month without doing any work. Oh. Well, yeah, there was an article in the Hill yesterday where they were talking about how he came out for Medicare for all last year, literally last year. So the one that Sanders proposed, the real one. And it's like, yeah, you're surprised with that this man can't make up his mind about if he's progressive or moderate or whatever. So yeah, he has crappy advisors that are so stupid they can't even give the guy an image that's a position that's consistent for a year. Like just flipping and flopping. That's all I can say. Medicare for all who want it. Man, give me a break. Hey, when he suspends his campaign, I'm gonna say, the candidates are running are the ones who people want to vote for. It's just I want to have something that plays off that term because that's a really that name is so condescending for what is attempting to be done by single payer, where it's like you got this crappy big pharma system that price gouges everybody and has you pay all these different expenses like deductibles, copays. And then this guy is like, oh no, we're going to keep that in place, but we're going to give something to you too. Like, no, you're not. You can't have both at the same time. It'll be really funny to see them get in office and just like have their whole system collapse from trying to do both of those at once. Because you know what they would do? They'd abandon the public option or single payer leaning system over the ACA approved continuation one. I remember there was a segment where they were talking about how he only decided to run for president because he knows he can't win another term as mayor because he was a crappy one, or at least he was perceived as crappy. I don't lead one way or the other, but usually what ends up happening is that these people find themselves in a rut. It's like, this is the highest I can get. Like McCarthy, he would never, you'd never catch him running for senator because he knows he has no chance in hell on winning any statewide office in California, given its current capacity, which is like a mixed signal for me because, as I said before, I don't support the one party system in any state. So if there's an, dare I say, attractive candidate, I don't care what their label is, but that, a lot of people over here do, which is why it has the problems that it has. Because whenever one party gets in control, they know they can throw anybody or anything at you, and it's basically seen as okay or good. That's why even though Doug Jones sucks so hard in Alabama, it was really good that he won because now the Republicans in that state are actually sitting over there seriously thinking about who they want to run against him, even though anybody can beat him. Like literally, I could run as a Republican and just say, I will repeal abortion and I would be able to beat him. And so it's not, it's really not tough at all. But it's funny because they're giving all this thought and theories to something that isn't even worth discussing to any actual length. I heard nothing but terrible policies from Mayor Butt's years as mayor. Yeah, I've been hearing the same thing. I'm just saying, and you know what his name is over here? It's Buddha Trash. I've had like 5 or 6 different people on. Like, don't call him. I'll call him whatever I want. These people on here call me all kind of trash. So he gets called. He gets to have that at the end of his name. It's really not that difficult. I really just don't understand why people like him. I mean, Astro, you say that, but someone actually just sent me a list of emails that you have where you've donated to him at least 17 times, which is impressive. But we would think from those donations that you're a big fan of his. There's so many people who think he's like endearing or something. Well, that's because they're caught up in the imagery. That's why we had the article about the Ruben. You remember the Kennedy imprisonment where these people like get attracted to these candidates based on the way they look or the way they sound, and then when they actually get in office and do things, it's a complete dumpster fire. So what he's doing now is probably what he did to become mayor. He gets up here in this nice suit and tie, talks about how great this place can be and all this other, hogwash. And then after a while, people realize, wait a second, nothing's really getting better. In some cases, actually worse. And then he's able to coast for a while until enough people get pissed off and he starts bowing out. That's why they're saying after 2 terms as mayor, with I don't even think 2 full terms actually, he's on his way out, that he wasn't going to win another term because his tenure was so garbage. It'd be the same thing if he was able to get the presidency. Let's see. Ruben says Buddha Trash and O'Dork is O'Dork is another guy who got hyped just through looks. Yeah, well, with him it was when he ran in the Democratic the Texas Democratic Senate primary. He ran as an actually substantive person that was talking about single payer and other issues that were not regularly being discussed by Democrats in that state because they were doing their whole little, we have to be moderates to win. We have to act like Republicans to beat Republicans. So that actually was when he was popular for a reason. And then during the general election, because he was trying to do his little, I'm going to be a nice boy thing by not ever going after Cruz that much. And from that point forward, people just was like, oh, let's repurpose him for another race and brought him back for this. How do you jump from I could be mayor to I could be president? That's a huge leap. Yeah, I don't even, I know you don't like Jimmy, but he made the same joke that that he if he were block captain, he'd have more people in his block than in South Bend, Indiana, and he could run for president now. It's all that's one of the, again, the like screw the more frustrating things of Trump winning. Now every person who, like, before this election cycle, mayors didn't run for president unless they were mayor of some huge city like LA or New York. So, and representatives didn't run either, because they, I think, yeah, I said before, the last member of the House who ran for president and won, so was a representative and then became president, was Garfield. And I don't even need to tell you how long ago that was. That's, it's just like, that's what, this is my point, that ever since that the thing with Trump happened, anyone who is in any office thinks they can run and be taken seriously. Anyone who's not even in office thinks they can run. I don't know what Astra was laughing at. She's probably mocking my the cracking of my fingers. I guess that's something that should be lampooned and made fun of. She decided that was comedic. These conflicts never end. They got Pence right here. He says that the U.S. and Turkey have reached a deal to temporarily suspend Ankara's incursion into northern Syria. Man, that deal is going to last for maybe 3 days, and then they'll be right back to doing it. Because these people don't change. They do the same stuff every year. So they're, nothing is actually being affected in any positive manner. That's why I don't even want to cover that stupid debate. I know a lot of people liked it and saw it and thought it was funny, but what's amusing about 3 hours of 12 people barely being able to say anything, and if they do say something, it's stupid. Like, I was going to cover this article somebody wrote where they said Harris's debate performance was pathetic or something, because it was true and it was funny in what they said, but other than that, I'm good. A little shocked by, in the race, who does he think he is? Why are billionaires so entitled? Been the worst no, the worst one was the third one, because Sanders sounded like hell, and then Biden couldn't remember who was addressing him, and Harris had some stupid line about Trump firing ammunition from tweeting. That was garbage. I would never go back and watch that one again, unless I was just some kind of on some torture spree. That would be it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, what? No, I already exposed Steyer. His whole impeachment thing was designed so that people would donate to his presidential campaign by buying trash that they thought had nothing to do with a billionaire running for president. Forgot about it. I thought he was one of your preferred candidates, and you forgot about his voice. I'm gonna write him a letter right now, saying that one of his top YouTube supporters decided to not bother with remembering what he sounded like a month ago. Well, here comes Mr. the Third. I hope the second and senior are doing well, or was it senior and junior are doing well. Send them my regards. Over here disappearing. He shows up and gives me a little greeting and runs away. I just picture on one of those little scooters, just like with pedaling around, like, oh, hello, bye. Ruben says Biden always manages to outdo himself with how detached a U.S. politician is. Well, that's because these people don't hang out with regular people, and they're not like, how to explain this? When you become detached from regular people due to hanging out around those that are in the same capacity, you don't really know how to interact with them. So, for example, Harris actually admitted that when she was dating Willie Brown, who is 30 years her senior, because she's that's like apparently a good idea. That came from the fact that they were among the few black lawyers in the whole state of California. So she admitted that this relationship came from them having a similar occupation and ethnicity that the whole rest of these different groups did not have. And more to the point, in this campaign, I don't know if you remember this, Ruben, where she I guess she was trying to sound witty or something. She played a clip of, what's that broad's name? The musician that met with Bernie, the you know the one I'm talking about, that was wearing the green or whatever. Still to be still. And someone pointed out that if this was like a moment that you people just happen to catch on camera, why the hell is she playing the censored version? Like, who listens to censored music in any capacity if they're just alone and not pre-planning something? But that's again goes back to how fake they are and how stupid they think the rest of us are. Hey, be still. I know you. I understand why you haven't been on here last week, because there hasn't been any new Andrew Yang videos, and that's your favorite guy. That's Be Still's favorite person this year. So that's the reason he decided to not show up for the last few days. Oh, I'm so flattered. You were doing all of your activities to make yourself fit, or fitter, depending on how you actually appear. I was able to say something. I'm so touched. Oh no, I understand. I'm not upset that I'm not getting mad at people for not showing up to a stream. Look, yeah. I mean, hey, you know how these YouTube commentators are, man. Like I literally have like a whole. I didn't put them together, but if I went through my email, I could find dozens of comments talking about the way I looked. So any kind of appearance you have, somebody will not like or disapprove of or whatever. It is what it is. Or does anyone have anything else to say? Man, James really just came here, said hello, and then dipped. So disappointed. I'll make sure to put that in my memoir. He showed up and then just popped out. People are funny style people have funny styles when it comes to looks. Well, I wish they would be more honest about the fact that everyone has their own preference, and if someone doesn't meet mine, it doesn't necessarily mean that they won't be found attractive by someone else. That's why I said a lot of these people are romance communists, because they think if they don't like you, then no other person anywhere in the entire world will ever just that trash. I have nothing left to say. See you later. Well, I wasn't about to end it. I was just asking if you had any further comments, because I know you're really you've been waiting a while for that Johnson documentary, and it's coming this weekend. I can assure you of that. We got all our pictures, all our voice clips. It's on its way. Usually, it revolves around fault fading, whether it's true or false. Oh, fault finding. Yeah, where they sit there and they're like, well, this person's really nice to talk to, and they're smart, and I enjoy speaking to them, and every time I'm around them, I have a good time, and I laugh a lot, but, well, they don't exactly look the way I'd like, so, I guess we can't do anything. That's how they sound. Did you look more into, not that much. I'll incorporate him in some capacity into something else, though. I can assure you that, Ruben. I told you a lot of the main like group of politicians I usually do a lot of looking into are from like the 60s to forward, because there's a lot more articles and different ways that they're included in modern stuff. But I'll find a way to add them in there. Yeah, be still. People are so goofy. I wish you had seen the part earlier where I had the one broad that was given private information try to like throw that back at me, and I was like, you're so lucky. I'm not, even if I am vindictive, I'm not evil, so I'm not going to put out stuff you said in private to me and try to use that against you. Or Very, very lucky. They are so just completely benefited by the fact I have some small moral value when it comes to this stuff. Certain lines won't be crossed. I won't put up any of these people's pictures or talk about stuff they have mentioned to me that was not related to a direct romance between me and them. Very, very lucky. That was a fortunate thing for them. It's good for you to be the bigger person. Well, again, it's the fact that like these people, when you speak to them, they want you to talk in some kind of get to know you way, and then when they get to know you, they try to throw what they know about you back in your face because they're pissed off or whatever. And as someone that tries to be watch the words that they say and be careful with their rhetoric, it's especially frustrating because you got these adults who are in some cases multiple years older than me, and they can't even follow the same precaution. And they're doing this, mind you, while they say, "Oh, I want to speak to this person." Like, well, if you want to speak to them, don't piss them off. If I say I want to speak to Be Still, and then he tells me he doesn't like, I don't know, some joke, and I keep using that same joke over and over again, I'm a hypocrite because I know this pisses him off, and I'm still doing it anyway. And then I get surprised if he says, "I'm done. I'm never going to watch your stuff again. I'm never going to comment on your things anymore." It's like you can't have it both ways. You can't try to do your own thing and then not and then get pissed by the consequences of it. Just saying, the bigger person. Now, if you saw that sore loser stream, you would know we were. There's nothing bigger over here other than my height. That's it. So it's really comedic. That would even be a thing that would be associated with me. Uh, having the moral high ground. Oh, Trump just confirmed that since the stream started, that Perry is going to step down as energy secretary. I still find that to be the greatest, one of the bigger, like the top 10 ironies in politics over the last decade. A guy who, when he ran for president, said, "I'm going to get rid of the energy department," gets put in charge of the energy department, and then admits while he's being confirmed, "Yeah, that was a mistake of mine." It's like, but you still said it though. Like, that's like me saying I want to abolish the IRS, and then you put I don't know what be the title, the commissioner, the head IRS person's name is, but that's like me leading that group after saying it should be gotten rid of. It's like you can't support getting rid of it, but then be at the top of it and then not see how that's ironic. And people are writing really slow now. They keep it went from 7 to 6 to 5 to 4. They just jump in, jump out. Oh, it's terrible. That's why I said people are indecisive. So they click on something, right after clicking on it, they backtrack. Can't decide if they want to be there or not. They got to stare at me for like 2 seconds before they make their decision. Oh man, yeah, these Congress members are dropping like flies. Let's see. I'm watching you instead of TYT. Oh yeah, I'm sure you're not subscribed to them. The only problem I have with them is if Jank's not there, it's so much more boring. And they literally have one panelist who I will never name. Who every time they show up, I flip the channel. I think the only time I watched something where that person was there from start to finish was their election night coverage for the last presidential election. Other than that, and that was actually the first time I saw them. So other than that, I stay away anytime they come on screen. And it really sucks because I miss the like it's literally their worst person they just keep having on there. Like, get rid of them. Disappear. If it's Cranston, no, it's not Cranston. No, I remember they got rid of her and Namiki. And Namiki was only one of those like non-host people that actually was worth anything because she was going and giving detailed informative answers to pretty much everything she was asked of. You know, she was actually a journalist. The rest of them were just sitting there saying random stuff that they're attempting to be funny with. Like, no, I don't want to say who it is. I don't. I want. Don't, trust me. If you watch them for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you'll see them. And when you see them, you'll notice that they have a tendency to repeat themselves. Like they have this one talking point that they just keep saying over and over again. It's just annoying. I don't want to give them any promotion. They are. I'll give you a hint. They're a comedian as well. They're not Jimmy. They're another comedian. That's their official occupation. That's all I'm going to say. No, Ruben Cranston was just boring. Like she was another one of those people that was just there to be there. So when they got rid of her, I wasn't too upset. But I don't remember her being used as often as this other character. So it's still just a sort of a thing of I perceive them to not be as annoying, but they also might have just not been around as much. That's one of the theories I've carved out. Yeah, the problem with TYT's uploading is that they have like 12, 13 different videos they'll put up in a day, and then their their audience is like, okay, I'll watch 4 or 3 of these and the rest of them. And I was like, how do you have a channel? Like, you don't get how bad your channel is doing. If you have 4 million subs and you're only getting in some cases 40,000 views in the video. I thought you didn't watch TYT, Asker. How do you know all these people's names? I knew you were one of their big members. What's that thing Jenk always says? Join premium and get all this exclusive content. Most of their videos are just generic Trump videos. Well, that's what I was saying. In the Obama era, I really liked their stuff because it would be Jimmy and somebody else critiquing a particular policy of his from a left-wing perspective. So, for example, when the surveillance state stuff was happening, whether it be, like Snowden being a whistleblower or the NDAA, like Cenk would go after Obama for that stuff. It was great. It was stuff you literally were not seeing anywhere else, and now it's just, Trump did this, Trump did that. Yeah. Remember that video from August of, and it is that person, Astro. But like I said, we know that you're a frequent viewer of theirs. Ruben, remember that video from August of 2 years ago where Cenk said I think it was called Trump will resign soon prediction or something, and now the comments section is literally just people being like, it's been a year, it's been 2 years, it's been usually just for live show in the afternoon. Oh. You're just one of those live show in the afternoon viewers. You're not like one of the people that watches their uploads. Well, to be fair, you don't watch my uploads either, so it all adds up. It all goes together. All this stuff is interconnected. Yeah, they have too many people on there that annoy me to different degrees. For me to really, like, I have to just, I guess between the panelists that are guest stars or guest host, and then also the other people that just show up but not as often as the main two, it's like, yeah, I'm good. And then when Jimmy announced he was, oh yeah, definitely, I'm out of here. I remember when I started watching TYT videos regularly, the comment section always had a Democrat. Shills accused them of being secret Republicans. Yeah, they're you'll find that. That's why I told you that it's hard to not be a tribalist in this era, because when I was doing the like anti-Democrat uploads, people accuse me of being a Republican. Then when I do an anti-Trump video, I get accused of being a Democrat and having Trump derangement syndrome and all this other stuff. It is a lot different now. I miss how it used to be. Yeah, but you didn't deny my accusation, my proven comment, which was that you don't even watch my stuff regularly. You only come for the live shows. So we've exposed you on two fronts. We've exposed you on saying all those naughty, bad words, and then you've also been exposed on not showing up to the office. See, Ruben shows up all the time, and even when he's not there for a stream, he goes back and watches it. That's why he's getting an exclusive 4-hour documentary on Nixon, and then an exclusive. I think it's going to be like an hour-long documentary on Johnson. Not exclusive; it's going to be on here, but still, he's getting something for his due diligence. That was back in 2010. I forgot to add that part. Yeah, the golden years were the period that corresponds with Obama being in office. Watching them go after the DNC is great. Everything after that with Trump did this, Trump did that. I'm good. Because at that point, like when I watch TYT now, there's almost no difference between them and CNN or MSNBC. And I don't even like Fox, but I mean, I'll take them in some cases just because they're not sitting there trying to I mean, for example, the Bolton thing, right? I couldn't care less if he quit or if he was fired. But regardless, I was happy that he was out. I had to watch a TYT segment, which was without Jen because he was in, I think, New York, some different city when that happened, where they're talking about Trump said this, and then Bolton's like, I don't care. Just give an opinion on what the hell is going on. Tell me why this person sucks, and let that be the end of it. It was the same thing when he announced he's pulling out of Syria back in December. Trump is really pulling out of there because Putin. So I don't care if Putin told him he would give him a blowjob if he went out of there. If he gets out, he gets out. Like, damn. Trump said he's going to pull out of Afghanistan, or it's been reported Trump will pull out of Afghanistan to help win his reelection. Good. Get out. I don't care what the reason is. So they're really bad about that. They just they can't make up their mind of what they want to be. They don't know if they want to be the anti-Trump network or the Democratic Resistance Network. Because I always thought their angle was we're not trying to be like all these other stations that placate for one party over the other. We criticize them both fairly, and now it's been just Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump, Trump, Trump. I think someone actually sent me a screenshot of their channel, and it was like 10 straight videos with Trump's name and picture in it. Oh my God, that was terrible. That was really bad. And the silence is very deafening. We got 4 people. Nobody's even writing anything other than Ruben. I'm so flattered he remembered to write something. Even after he had nothing left to say, he remembered to write something. Even after he said goodbye, he remembered to write something. It's all really nice. But yeah, most likely we'll get this pullout of Syria is going to just be a little crybaby fest for both parties, and they'll come together and say that this has brought us to unison and we're united. And then the impeachment stuff will go on a little bit longer, and that's when they'll both go back to hating each other. It's that's why I said it's a yo-yo, and it's really sad because what I would most likely want is just a overall conclusion. Like, you have a peace treaty with Syria, we will never invade you ever again. And then if it's ever broken, it can be a thing where Congress has to authorize going into a conflict again. Basically, the overall message of these 7 never-ending wars 100 years from now or 20 years, whatever different period passes, should be, let's never have this happen again. Let's not allow a single president or a person that wins one election to determine if we're going to be in some foreign country for, in some cases, even after they retire from office. If the Democrats were actually more intelligent, then they would tell everyone that Trump himself said that he fired Bolton because Bolton was not hawkish enough on Venezuela. Well, that's my point, that he's not anti-war, and his supporters, I don't know what's wrong with them. If you give them statements that he himself has said, even if they're on tape, they reject it. One of the most surreal experiences I've ever had online was on Twitter when I was talking to one of his backers. This is when he was running on DM, and I said I didn't like the proposal to ban Muslims because I thought it was Islamophobic, and they literally told me he didn't say he would do that. As I'm watching, like I didn't send it to them, but as I'm playing a video of him saying, because it was on video, it was I think it was November of 2015 when he said that. It was after the Paris attacks, and it was like, you're trying to argue against something that was proven to be the case. Why? It's weird. People are crazy. But they get these ideas in their heads, and then they reject any evidence that's to the contrary. And I always say that, like, I had this person yesterday, they were talking about how the Democrats shouldn't badger Trump because a lot of these people like him. And I said, you realize he has the lowest approval rating recorded of any president, and they're doing their thing of trying to argue against the poll. And I said, no. You can give factors for it. You can say they didn't sample enough people, but don't try to argue against something that people went out and attempted to get information from. They had a poll that had Sanders at, I think it was 5% in Iowa. I didn't like it. I even gave a reason. I said, oh, he's there because he hasn't been campaigning over there that much, which is true. But I didn't deny the evidence of the fact that he was at 5% in that poll. That's why I said a lot of people, they have these agendas where, like, they're so caught up in their ideology to where they try to argue against reality. So you'll see a lot more Republicans trying to say that they're anti-war and then still try to get regime change in Venezuela. It'll be really funny for a little bit, and then they'll do something dangerous and they'll go, oh, here we go again. The creeps, they're back in town. Isn't this lovely? All right, does anyone have anything left to say before I get out of here? Now that I've done my impromptu stream, any last comments, statements, positions, opinions? I'm gonna do at least obviously the live show on 21. I'll do the live show on Saturday, and then I'll probably. That's such a random question. Trying to figure out. Which, I mean, I don't have a problem disclosing. I don't understand what its relevance was to this topic, but whatever. So I'll do a live show on Saturday like I usually do. I'll upload something tomorrow, probably the romance thing I was talking about. It will be funny because it's amusing to see these people get upset with each other. Curious. Well, curiosity killed the cat. Oh, you too, and I hope Ruben has a great day as well. He's gonna have a great weekend when he gets all of his exclusive content for being such an upstanding contributor to my internet affairs, if you can even call it that. So I appreciate those who showed up. I'll be doing this again on Saturday.